When I set out for Lyonnesse. As a young apprentice architect, British poet and novelist Thomas Hardy once visited a parish to supervise the restoration of a church. On his return from the parish, people noticed two things about him: a new glow in his eyes and a crumpled piece of paper sticking out of his coat pocket. That paper, it is recorded in one of his biographies, contained the draft of a poem. You are going to read that very poem inspired by a visit to a place which the poet calls Lyonnesse. When I set out for Lyonnesse, 100 miles away, the rime was on the spray, and starlight lit my lonesomeness. When I set out for Lyonnesse, 100 miles away. The poet started for Lyonnesse, which was 100 miles away. Here, Lyonnesse means a country near Cornwall in southwest England, supposed to have been submerged by the sea. It was very cold then. The leaves were covered with frost. It was a lonely journey in the light of stars. Thomas Hardy set out for Lyonnesse. It was 100 miles away. What would be chance at Lyonnesse while I should sojourn there? No prophet durst declare, nor did the wisest wizard guess. What would be chance at Lyonnesse while I should sojourn there? When the poet started his journey, he thought what would happen at Lyonnesse during his temporary stay at that place. He says that a prophet could not have predicted it, nor a magician could have guessed it. Again, in the last two lines, he says that what would happen at Lyonnesse while he stayed temporarily at that place. When I returned from Lyonnesse, with magic in my eyes, all marked with mute surmise, my radiance rare and fathomless, when I returned from Lyonnesse with magic in my eyes. Thomas Hardy. In the last stanza, Thomas Hardy explains that when he returned from the church, there was a glamour in his eyes. All the people silently marked this rare glow and bottomless depth in his eyes. This happened as he returned after supervising the restoration of the church from Lyonnesse with charming eyes. Now, let us see the summary of the poem When I Set Out for Lyonnesse. Thomas Hardy once visited a parish to supervise the restoration of a church. On his return, people noticed two things about him. There was a new glow in his eyes. There was also a piece of paper peeping out of his coat pocket. This paper had the draft of the present poem. The poet says that he had gone for the restoration of a church. When he started, he hardly knew that the visit would be so invigorating. It proved to be like visiting Lyonnesse. He had left for the parish all alone on a very cold evening. The parish was 100 miles away. The foliage was covered with frost. The stars guided his lonesome path. He had to stay at the parish for some time. In that short period, he found something happening to him. It was an inner change, which was sudden and unexpected. The poet says that at the start of his journey, no one could think of such a change in him. No prophet or wizard could have guessed the happening there. When the poet returned from the parish, everyone noticed a glow in his eyes. They didn't speak a word. However, they were impressed by the rare and deep radiance of his eyes.